So back in 2018, I went on one of the longest walks that I had ever been on. It was like an hour and a half to get to my local Walmart back when I was living in Alberta, all to get a Marvel Legends Iron Man because Infinity War was coming out and I was really hyped up for the movie. And I had never bought into Marvel Legends before. This was all based on what my friends liked, and they were like, hell yeah, we were collecting these figures, these things are dope. But I had never really been much of an action figure guy. I was into Legos and I loved the Bionicles and everything, but action figures, especially 6-inch stuff, wasn't really my jam. But I took a chance, I bought him, and I liked that Iron Man at the time. I thought he was really fun. I even reviewed him on the channel way back when. And I got an Optimus Prime figure too, but that was really my first excursion into buying action figures and taking a chance on something that I normally would have never bought in my life. I didn't even have a job back then. I think I had birthday money left over or something like that. It wasn't until 2020 when I'd officially become a toy collector, and it all basically started with this figure, the MCU Taskmaster. Not a bad figure by any means. I quite like her, actually. The movie was but at the time, when these figures dropped, a year before the movie came out, we were pretty excited. In fact, I got this for Thatch, and my plan was to send it over to him, but his buddy Shots had already grabbed him the figure, so I was thinking, do I return it? Do I give it to someone else? And I was like, maybe I keep it. I busted her open, and I had a lot of fun with her, and to this day, I think she's still a really solid, fun figure. And here's a photo from a couple days ago of my collection. Yeah. And the embarrassing part is, that's not even everything. In fact, I have so much shit that I was struggling to put stuff on the shelves. I had stuff off to the side, trying to figure out where I could put it later. That's not good. So over time, especially, I think it really started this year, I realized just how much space I've lost, how much clutter I've accumulated, all for those Marvel Legends, and collecting in general, and Lego and everything, and I've sort of had a change of heart on all that. I've realized lately that it just doesn't really bring me that same joy that it used to have. Okay, and here's the bottom line, right? I'm not super attached to Marvel Legends, or Marvel as a whole anymore. The only real attachment I have to Marvel is the MCU, and even that's dwindling. I have a comic book collection. Why do I have a comic book collection? I don't read comic books. I've read a couple comics in my life. I had some old X-Men comic that I couldn't even comprehend as a kid, and then I bought a Spider-Man comic book, and I read a bit of it, and I was like, this is stupid, but it's kind of funny, and I like it. And that's it. I didn't grow up with comic books, my parents aren't nerds, I have no connection to this brand other than the MCU. It was probably through Thatch and Okoto that I really fell in love with these figures because of their passion and enjoyment of these figures. That's where I wanted to sort of feel that same enjoyment. Not to mention, CCBS and Bionicle had died, right? So what else was I going to collect? What else was I going to waste my money on? And I had a job at this point too, so I could spend my money on stuff. I didn't have much to spend it on, I guess Lego, but Lego had also been dying off. Like I said, I was mainly a CCBS guy, I wasn't really collecting too much else at the time. So yeah, I had stopped kind of collecting Ninjago around that time too, so I just went all in on Marvel Legends. It started reasonably with MCU figures, but I kind of quickly transitioned to comic book figures. I think my very first comic book Marvel Legend was the Monster Venom figure, which was like a big beefy son of a gun. And he's fun, he's alright, but why? Just because he's a big boy? He's a big boy, I guess. That's why I wanted him. And it got to the point where now I'm buying characters like Jack-O-Lantern, who's freaking cool and funny, but why? I don't know who this is. I break the figure out for 5 minutes, go, that's pretty cool, then put him on the side or put him in the shelf, and then it's good to go. And then I don't touch him until I move the figures again, inevitably. So I really just realized, what the hell am I doing? It's bringing me very, brief happiness, but within that happiness, there's also instant regret because everything costs so much money nowadays. For an average Legends figure here, where I live, you're looking at 50 with tax included. That's insane. Like, that is ridiculous. And I just reasonably cannot fund this hobby without the space and the funds necessary to do so. Maybe if I was rich and had my own place and had like massive tons of room, like if I had a dedicated room to this stuff, maybe, but I make slightly above minimum wage. And like I said, I just don't have any attachment to these comic book characters. Yes, they look cool. Yes, they're fun figures. But what am I gonna do with them? Like, just leave them on a shelf? The value is kind of cut in half already because I've taken them out. It's not like I'm an inbox collector, thank God. I have learned to appreciate the art of action figures through buying Legends, and sometimes it's really satisfying to just get your hands on a Legends figure and just start posing them. That inherent satisfaction is why I collect in the first place. But also, like I said, it is a mutual love for the hobby. And my friends, we're all into figures, me and the boys, right? So it's fun to talk to them about it and share that excitement and that love. But like I said, when it comes to Marvel, it's starting to dwindle. Even with the lack of MCU stuff right now, and I know MCU is getting projects like Guardians 3 that are amazing, and I didn't even hate Quantumania, but my love for the MCU is just kind of slowly starting to fade. I don't get as excited about it as I used to. And I hate to be like that because that's what literally everyone else on the planet is saying. But it's kind of true. I'm sure Deadpool 3 will be great, but that's a subject for another video. I also have a ton of Star Wars figures and just random shit I've bought over the years that I just instantly come to regret. Like, why did I buy this? Why do I have this? And that same category falls into Lego, unfortunately. Lego doesn't really bring me the same happiness that it used to, which is probably the biggest damn shame that I could ever say because I grew up with it, you know? Now there is something inherently fun about buying a Lego set and building it. I'm not taking that away. It is fun and that charm is not gone. That charm is absolutely 100% still there. But when it's all said and done, when the set is built and I don't have any room for it and it takes up, like, there's stuff everywhere and it's all loose. It's like, where am I putting it? Where am I keeping it? What am I doing with it? I think, for example, recently the Sonic sets have been doing that to me. Absolutely love the Sonic sets. I think they're so creative. I think Lego is starting to rise up and become even better than it has been throughout all these years. It's not the old days, but we are getting back to a point where we're getting so much quality. Look at Lego Dreams. I think they just revealed new sets. These things look incredible. But that initial, like, fun and enjoyment isn't there. Maybe, again, if I had a giant house, if I had a whole room dedicated to Lego, if I had, like, a duck bricks ass room, sure, right? Sure, I would collect Lego. But I don't have that space. And Lego is damn expensive. It's even more expensive than buying Legends. And when you're buying Legends on top of Lego, it's a recipe for disaster. It really is. I think the last time I really felt joy and pride in buying a Lego set and it hasn't felt that instant regret that like every Lego set fills me with nowadays, or even Marvel Legends fills me with, was the Mighty Bowser set that I bought in 2022. That set is fantastic and it sits up on the shelf, and even recently I don't regret that purchase one bit because it is such a cool thing to own. It's freaking awesome, man. I'm so happy to have it. Even little things like the Tahoe gift with purchase, it's cool, but I had to buy so much other shit to fill that, to even get it anyways. It's like, now I just have a bunch of shit lying around. It's like, what, do I take it apart? Do I sell it? Like, what do I do? What do I do with it all? So recently I made a very hard decision to part with my collection. Most of it. Not all of my Legends are being sold, but I did end up selling a good bit. In fact, I actually made really good money off of selling them, which is, I wanted to make this video a bit earlier just to kind of talk about my thoughts through everyone, but I've kind of already made a decision, so that's why this video seems a little weird and I seem maybe a little bit more confident than I should be. That regret of selling my collection hasn't sold it through yet, and I haven't even sold everything. There's a lot more shit I need to sell, but I've made a good start. Let's just say that. And for the most part, I do feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders because I have gotten rid of a lot. And that initial, like, relief is nice. I'm not done collecting action figures or even Lego. I'm gonna be I'll be very picky with Lego over the years because, like I said, it's less space friendly than Legends, so you can't really collect very much Lego, at least in my situation. That new Lego D&D set looks absolutely immaculate, but for the amount of space that's going to take up and the price it's going to cut into my paycheck, I just can't do it. It's fantastic, I love it, but I don't need it. Tyler's probably going to get it, and I'm going to see him again at some point, so I might as well just wait to see it in person and be like, that's really cool, and then move on. I don't need it. Although it's really goddamn cool. I'll cherry pick some things, maybe some minifigure series, maybe a couple Sonic sets. If they do Mario minifigures, I'm gonna have to get some. You know, there's whispers about them bringing back Bionicle, and I'm definitely gonna support that in some way, no matter what it is. But for the most part, I think I just really need to take a step back. I don't need to go all in. Just because I think something looks awesome, I don't need it. Lego Dreams is a fantastic theme, and I really want to make a video about it, hopefully soon, but I just don't need it. I don't have the space for it, and I don't need it. That's the bottom line. That's the whole theme of this video. I don't have the space for it, I don't have the money for it, ergo, I do not need it. Now, that's not to say that I'm completely done collecting figures. Like I said, I'm gonna buy Marvel Legends every now and then, but I'm gonna be very specific about them, and I'm mostly going to buy them for custom fodder. I had a lot of fun doing my Gear 4 Luffy custom, and I'm actually currently working on a custom right now, actually a few customs, and it's really fun. I really enjoy that hobby, and I want to do more of it because I think it's a blast. I think it's a really fun time. So I'll buy fodder and random figures, but like I said, I don't need to collect Legends and then also buy fodder. And I'm still all in on the SH Figuarts One Piece line. I am working on a review for the first 3 figures in the line. I apologize it's taking so long. I want to rewrite the script because I wanted to make it more of a special video. It's going to be pretty long, but I think it's hopefully going to be worth it. Yeah, so I'm all in there, and I'm going to buy figures that are more me. You know? Legends aren't me. I don't really know what I'm doing with this video. I'm kind of just rambling at a camera, hoping that someone understands where I've come from or where I've been. The idea of collecting as a whole is becoming really hard to grapple with, especially at my age. I think a lot of people who collect Legends are older. A lot of them have families, a lot of them have, you know, that's sort of their side hustle, and they have a life outside of that. But for me, I'm still young. I'm still getting my bearings together. I'm just learning how to drive, and I think I'm 23. I think I'm going to be 23 in May, or 24. I don't even know anymore. But either way, I'm young, right? Relatively speaking, I'm a little young for all this. If you guys have any feelings about this, please feel free to leave a comment. I genuinely appreciate it. And I know I'm kind of going off on a random tangent in this video, and my thoughts probably aren't connecting. Like I said, I've made decisions already in my head. When I originally wanted to record this video, I think it would have been a little bit more clear what I was trying to say and a little slightly more focused, but now because I'm still going through it, I think the video is a little jumbled and messy and random. I'm still going to collect stuff, just not nearly as much as I used to, and not as much Lego, definitely not as much Marvel Legends. The One Piece stuff, yes, of course. Anything else that catches my eye, of course. Bionicle is still there. CCPS, my love for that is still there. It's just hard when there isn't anything like that right now in the market. It's difficult, right? I even recently started putting away my CCPS collection. I no longer have the mock table. It's kind of a shame, but it kind of needed to be done because I wasn't doing anything with it. I don't need an entire table dedicated to mocking when I don't do that. I really don't nowadays. The last time I made a mock was actually recently, but I had done that after I sorted everything. Everything was already put in buckets, and I just decided to do it like by hand, and it turned out okay, but yeah, it was difficult. I did not have fun doing it as much as I used to. I was never a great mockist anyways, so I don't know. Bit of a random tangent, but I just wanted to say that. Obviously doesn't mean that these types of videos are going anywhere. It just means that my interest in that hobby is slowly waning. I'm not going to sell all my Bionicle stuff or anything like that, at least not yet. Maybe after I finish Renzo or Biorama or whatever, then I'll get rid of it, but right now it's worth holding on to, because it's valuable, and it does mean a lot to me overall. So yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching this video. Like I said, it was very all over the place and random, but if you can relate to anything, if you have any stories about collecting that you want to share, feel free to leave it down in the comments. I genuinely love and appreciate all of you, as you know. I am working on stuff. It has been very slow going. I've actually been editing a lot recently, and one of my projects that I've been working on for a very long time is finally coming together. Hopefully you're going to see something from that soon, but that's all I can say for now. Thank you very much, everyone. I promise the next video will have a lot more editing in it. I just wanted to get this out. Not very much editing, just so you guys can see. So yeah, farewell. Bye-bye. Sayonara, bitches.